Before we get to the narrative of chapter 5, there's one thing I've got to clarify. Actually, maybe two things. One, I forgot to mention this in chapter 3 commentary and chapter 4 commentary, but I'll mention it now. In the first draft manuscript of Insinmind, Sam was actually supposed to be homosexual. This is actually not a joke. Sam really was supposed to be that way. Ultimately, it got removed because it was a bit too distracting, and it's unknown for sure if it's ever going to be used again. But that actually was in the first draft manuscript of Insinmind. Another thing is the town. I don't know if I said this in the previous commentary, but the town's name is Tokurapi. Tokurapi. That's really the pronunciation of the town. So, without further ado, let's explain the narrative. We start off with Jericho, we start off with Helena talking to Kylo Drastic, and they're having this discussion about how to initiate evil schemes and whatnot. After that, Jericho talks to Helena for a short while before he starts losing his mind speaking to her of Savage messing with his mind and him saying all these weird imageries. And Helena gets so creeped out by this that she runs away. And Jericho meets his nephews, being Reberus and Jefferson Drastic. And they're creeped out by him a bit too, thinking he's a weirdo over how deranged he is in a way. Then we get to Zeff, Linson, and Sam, with Linson encouraging Zeff to get a haircut. And there's one thing I got to clarify about the Zeff saying he's been disabled for more than 20 years. He is born in 1942, and he said this in 1959. But the thing is, though, what he was referring to was his misery. This wasn't really that well explained in the novel, but I do plan on addressing more of this as to what he was meaning and why Sam didn't question him on it. So, as Zeff is going to get a haircut and all, he meets Quinn, and he does meet up with David, but he starts insulting David. He starts misbehaving even more, really showing a lot of foul and mean-spirited behavior, saying some harsh, crude things such as racial slurs. And back to what I was saying of me not really expecting the chapter to go this way, despite the fact that I was the one who wrote it, is because it's more like the reaction of, did I just do that? That's basically what was happening here in chapter 5. I really didn't expect myself writing it this soon, so abruptly, but that's how it is, with Zeff misbehaving some more. And so things get a bit too out of hand that Pacbell comes in and takes him to a pocket dimension of some sort. And Zeff goes on, expresses his hatred and his frustrations, his dark tendencies. He just rambles on about it and makes a little bit of a racial slur. And Pacbell tries to encourage him not to lose it. And Zeff wants to leave Tokurapi. And Linson starts tearing up over the fact that he wants to leave and encouraging him not to leave, that she can help him. And she also knows that he is actually suicidal over the horrible things that were happening. He's gotten a lot of anxiety and depression over it. With all this being said, that's where the chapter ends. So, what we see here is Zeff quickly coming unglued as more so like another type of psychology kicking in his mind, being like, I really don't want to do this. Like his mind is being like retracted or returning to more of his hateful self. Not his, he is repulsive in some ways. He is being like vulgar in a way and immature like he was in chapter 4. But this was more in a, that was more in like a childlike session. This is more like just hate-filled. So what's really going on here is that there's a lot of hatred and depression going on in Zeff over the events that have happened to him, and he doesn't feel as if Lincent can do anything to help him. So that's what this chapter is with the later half of it. The first half is about Jericho's drift to insanity and Zeff trying to not let his own sorrow consume him. That's all I have to say for this chapter.